In the quiet suburbs of California, fear became a constant companion. Between 1974 and 1986, a shadowy figure, now known as the Golden State Killer, unleashed a wave of terror. He struck swiftly, leaving behind a trail of unspeakable violence and shattered lives. Families locked their doors tighter, and communities were gripped by paranoia, as this elusive predator evaded capture time and time again. For decades, his identity remained a chilling mystery, haunting the dreams of countless victims and their loved ones. It wasn't until advanced DNA technology emerged that the truth finally surfaced, leading to the arrest of a man who had lived among us, hidden in plain sight. The story of the Golden State Killer is not just one of horror, but of resilience, as the pursuit of justice spanned generations, reminding us that even the darkest secrets can eventually be uncovered. It all began in the mid-1970s, a time when fear crept silently through California. The Golden State Killer emerged, his first known attack in 1974, a brutal burglary and sexual assault in Sacramento. Authorities were unaware they were facing a predator who would evolve into one of America's most notorious criminals. As the years rolled on, his violence escalated. By the late 1970s, he targeted couples in their homes, breaking in under the cover of darkness. He would tie them up, instilling terror as he forced women to their knees, threatening their lives. After the horror, he ransacked their homes, stealing valuables and leaving behind taunting notes. His chilling ability to strike without a trace made him a ghost, haunting investigators and victims alike. As the years slipped by, the Golden State Killer's shadow loomed larger, his reign of terror stretching across California. By the late 1970s, he evolved from a mere burglar into a calculated predator, his crimes escalating into a chilling symphony of violence. He stalked his victims, learning their every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike in the dead of night. In the spring of 1986, his brutality reached a horrifying peak, culminating in a series of murders that left the state paralyzed with fear. 12 lives extinguished, over 50 women assaulted, each victim a testament to his sinister prowess. Yet, despite the growing body count and the frantic search for answers, investigators found themselves ensnared in a web of mystery, unable to unravel the enigma of the Golden State Killer. The terror continued, a haunting reminder of the darkness that lurked just beyond the light. As the 1980s faded into the 1990s, the Golden State Killer case grew colder, slipping from the public's consciousness. Detectives faced a daunting reality: no solid leads, no concrete evidence, just a series of chilling crimes that seemed destined to remain unsolved. Theories about the killer's identity circulated, but each one fell flat, leaving investigators grasping for answers in a dark void of uncertainty. Yet, amidst this despair, a revolutionary tool was emerging: DNA technology. This scientific breakthrough would soon transform forensic investigations, allowing us to analyze genetic material with unprecedented precision. Little did anyone know, this advancement would breathe new life into a case that had long been considered a mystery too complex to unravel. The intersection of forensic science and technology was about to change everything. In 2001, a chilling breakthrough in forensic science emerged. The DNA from the Golden State Killer's crime scenes was meticulously preserved and analyzed, revealing that a single individual was behind the horrific acts. Yet, the identity of this monster remained shrouded in mystery. Fast forward to 2018, when investigators took an audacious leap into the realm of genetic genealogy. They scoured publicly available DNA databases, tracing distant relatives of the killer like a modern-day bloodhound. After weeks of relentless investigation, they constructed a family tree that led them to one shocking name: Joseph James DeAngelo. The pieces of this dark puzzle were finally falling into place, and justice was within reach. April 24, 2018, a day that would send chills down the spine of a nation. In a quiet neighborhood in Citrus Heights, California, authorities finally closed in on a man who had evaded justice for decades. Joseph DeAngelo, a former police officer, lived among us, hidden in plain sight. For years, he was the ghost haunting the memories of countless victims, the Golden State Killer. But it was DNA evidence that shattered his facade. The very science that once seemed so distant became the key to unraveling his dark legacy. His DNA matched the samples collected from the crime scenes, confirming what many had feared: the man who wore a badge had been a predator all along. As the news broke, the nation held its breath, grappling with the reality that the monster was not just a figure of the past, but a neighbor, a man who had walked among us, undetected. The hunt was over, but the echoes of his crimes would linger forever. In the years following his arrest, the weight of justice began to lift for so many. In June 2020, DeAngelo stood in court, pleading guilty to 13 counts of murder and 13 counts of kidnapping. It was a moment that felt surreal, as victims and their families finally confronted the man who had haunted their lives for decades. The courtroom was filled with raw emotion, tears, and a sense of closure that had been long overdue. On August 21, 2020, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. For the victims and their families, this was not just a verdict, it was a long-awaited sigh of relief. After more than 40 years of pain and uncertainty, California could finally begin to heal, knowing that justice had been served. The story of the Golden State Killer is a haunting reminder of the darkness that can lurk in our communities. For decades, he evaded justice, instilling fear and uncertainty in countless lives. Yet, through relentless perseverance and groundbreaking technology, law enforcement finally unearthed the truth. This case underscores the power of DNA evidence and the unwavering commitment of those who refuse to let the past remain buried. It teaches us that justice is not just a concept, it's a pursuit that demands tenacity and innovation. The terror he inflicted may have been profound, but in the end, it was the truth that triumphed, proving that even the most elusive criminals cannot escape accountability.